right, good morning. Hopefully everybody had a good night and they enjoyed the movie yesterday morning. So today we're going to put out this movie review, and this is Crocodile Dundee 2. Now this one starts in New York City. Mick Dundee is actually married to the reporter this time, and it starts with him fishing in the harbor with dynamite. Blow dynamite up, shock the fish, scoop them out of the water. Gets chased by the U.S. Coast Guard to stop him, or the New York State Police to stop him from blowing up the harbor. He's just blowing things up. Then somebody that she knows, I guess an ex-boyfriend's a Colombia journalist, is in Colombia taking pictures of this Colombian drug lord, I guess you want to call him. And before he gets killed, he sends off a roll of film to Crocodile Dundee's wife, or Mick's wife. And he's out getting the mail, and people are trying to shoot at him and do all kinds of stuff. The DA in Colombia, her ex-husband, Sue's ex-husband, photographer, trying to take, so the film makes it to there, and then the ex-husband, Bob, he ends up in New York on Manhattan side, and he's sending thugs out to get the film. He kidnaps her, and Mick Dundee decides to go after him after he finds out what's going on. He hangs a guy from a skyscraper with a rope, rubs his big old fancy knife on the rope, starts shredding it. Then once he gets the information on where this guy is, he starts to leave. Somebody at the door with a shotgun. The shotgun goes through the door. He knocks him out through the door himself, because the door's all flimsy at that point. And then that's the guy he hung upside down to get the information out of, and because they want that roll of film that's in his jacket pocket, right up there. Then he runs around and gets people, help, but he from his friends that he made in New York, and he gets this group of kids to make noise while he goes and robs the place, and gets her back, and then they get back home and they're having eggs, and they have guards at the front door, and the guards inside the house get eggs, and the supervisor comes in and chases him back out to his post and eats the eggs after one of them hit the floor. So they get shot at there, and they're no safe place to stay in New York. So the DEA wants to put them in protective custody. So basically, that's putting them in jail. And Crocodile Dundee says he'd be safer if he goes to his place back in Australia. Okay, well, that's pretty good. So they went back to his place in Australia, and they're out walking through the outback, and she asked what this place is called, and he says Mick's place. And apparently he owns a bunch of land there, and he has a shack built out of everything you can imagine on the property, because there's no building codes. Then they stay there for about a day, and then next thing you know, here comes the Colombian drug lord finally tracking him down in Mick Dundee's home territory, and then the fun begins. They get shot at a couple times up at Mick's cabin, and they go walking off, and his friend, the tour guide that he's always talking about with, gets kidnapped by these people for a tracker, because the other trackers all walked away through the bush. I'm not going after Mick Dundee. And then, it turns out to be a pretty good, funny movie. They track him. There's lots of shooting, lots of intrigue. And there's a cave scene that I kind of like, where the Aboriginal tribe friends of Mick Dundee show up, and they're set to watch him, and they one of them speaks in Swahili or some other language, and the other one says, "No, man." And then Sue asks him what he said. So he explains that he was asking if we could eat him. And Mick said just to hold him. So that's what they were doing. So one by one, he picks off the gang that's going after him and his wife. And at the end of the movie, he gets shot, and the drug lord gets shot, completely dead by somebody else, by one of the other guys thinking, and they all get busted, go to jail finally, and everybody lives happily ever after. So it turned out to be a pretty good movie. I liked it. I liked the scenery and all the other stuff, and all the fun stuff that went along. And that guy, the due justice comes at the end for the Colombian drug lord that likes to kill people. He got killed himself by his own guy. What do you know? It's a funny, good movie. What did they call this thing? I would call it an action love story. Interesting twists and turns. They call it an action comedy film. So let's see what this action comedy film was done. It was Hoyt Distribution, Australia, International Pictures, Premier Pictures. It was distributed May 20th, 1998 in Australia, May 25th, 1988 in North America, and June 23rd, 1988 in United Kingdom. It ran 112 minutes long for Australia and the United States. It was English. They spent $14 million on it, probably just to travel mainly, and renting the space out there in the outback. And then at the box office, it did $239.6 million, which is pretty good for a low-budget film, if you want to call that a low-budget film. I kind of enjoyed it, and hopefully you'll go watch it and enjoy it yourself. And we'll see you on the next video tomorrow. Just the way it's been working. So tomorrow we go. Here we go, 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 go. Bye now.